Hello and welcome to another episode of FPL Escapades. My name is Kshitij, and as always, I'm joined by the usual suspects Akshay and Anand to preview rather the assets for Game Week 27. Akshay and Anand, welcome back, boys. Yesterday was a great day. Talking to FPL Lama and Bhuna on their uh, channel. It was great talking and catching up again. Akshay, how did your wildcard go, man? How was the double game week, which was prophesized to be a 200 pointer according to Anand, wasn't it?
So I thought you'd probably be kind to me and not start with me this time, but you didn't. So we can probably jump on into my team, and I scored 69 points on my wild card. So that's pretty low for a double game week, and especially for the double game week that we had, which was the biggest ever. So the bigger the double game week, the bigger the disappointment. You can say like that, probably because Leicester they did not deliver, and Harvey Barnes going down injured in the first game was actually a bummer for probably most of the FPL community because he was a bandwagon pick, like I spoke in the earlier episode as well. But no one expected him to go down injured in the first game, and that's how double game weeks go. So unfortunate that way. But like I spoke yesterday as well on the Lama Lounge, that I'm pretty happy with the team I have. And if you look at my bus team right now, so I probably plan to not make any changes and just put in Maitland-Niles into the first playing 11 and bench Barnes for now. So just hoping that his price does not drop because from what we have seen, when a player is red flagged, his price generally gets locked. But we don't know how that happens. So just hoping he does not drop again, Harvey Barnes, and yeah, giving Ricardo Pereira another chance. So let's see if Leicester turn up this time.
Yeah, makes sense. And as well, it's interesting to know that you're holding on to Barnes. Anand, what do you feel about Akshay's thought process of benching Barnes and not shipping him out yet?
Yes, it's his call, and I think it can be a good strategy too. But if he wants to bring in a double game week player, say from Southampton, that can work as well. So anything there, Akshay? You're looking at bringing in Southampton players?
I think if this was probably near about the start of the season, I would have looked at someone like a Ward-Prowse or a Armstrong maybe. But Southampton, in the recent form that they are in, I probably would not go onto that ship right now unless you have Ings. So he's probably someone you can probably hold. So Kshitij has Ings if I remember, and a double for Southampton is probably a hold for Danny Ings. But apart from that, I personally don't see any other player in that Southampton team right now. So there's a lot of talk about Harvey Barnes and how to replace him in your team because, as we know, the entire FPL community jumped on him for the double game week after his recent form. But the names that are being thrown are probably Rafinha if you don't own him, and similarly Gundogan, who's in a similar price bracket. But then you have the caveat of tripling up on City already. So if you want to maybe shift from a double defense to a double midfield in KDB and Gundo, so probably Gundo to Barnes would be a nice move. But my personal choice, as I spoke yesterday as well, is Arsenal's Saka. So like I like to do with players, I like to give them a week or a two. So I'll put Saka into my FPL five-a-side game week this time, so that I'll see how he fares and probably just take that from next week because everyone is going to look for Barnes replacement, and you can just wait and see which one's the right option rather than just picking one right now. So that's my thought. Yeah.
Yeah, interesting point about tripling up on City, and as likely they face United as well as Southampton. Favorable fixtures for them, considering a lot would say given their form and run. But Anand, according to you, what would be the best City triple up if an FPL manager would have to go? Say somebody who wants to play a wild card or a free hit, or just randomly, for a normal layman FPL manager, who do you think the best three assets from City can be?
KDB, Gundogan, and between Diaz and Cancelo. So Diaz is a regular in Pep's plan,
Yeah.
and that's one thing. Between Cancelo, because Cancelo he creates a lot of chances, so that's a tricky call over there. And KDB is back and he's playing really well once again. That's not a surprise at all. So KDB plus Gundogan, you know, it's because of Gundogan that City didn't miss KDB at all. In the absence of KDB, he was in flying form, and in the last few minutes that he played in the last match against Wolves, he looked pretty sharp again, roaming around that box and trying to. He might not be the best with assists, but he's taking a lot of shots. So his goal threat is tremendous at the moment. So I feel KDB, Gundogan, and between Diaz and Cancelo, it's pretty tough to decide that. But then yes, um, you can't just predict too much ahead and just see how game week goes. So after this game week, you'll have a better idea because it's a jam-packed season plus Champions League is coming. So yeah, keep watching the press conferences and see the lineups in the next fixture in the Champions League as well, and then accordingly take a call. Because suppose somebody starts a Champions League match, so the way Pep likes to rotate his team, it kind of gives you an idea. Even then, it's pretty difficult to guess what's there in Pep's mind, but still, it still gives you an idea, and probably you'll be better placed to make a call regarding who you should get from City.
Yeah, actually, yeah, I agree. But for me, Diaz has paid more dividends than my fellow FPL managers who own Stones and Cancelo. So that makes actually it really makes it a tricky, triple up on City, like you currently mentioned about the Pep rule as well. But Pep having said that Diaz is slowly and steadily becoming undroppable gives me more confidence on him starting over Cancelo because as we see over the course of the double game week that Cancelo was benched. And I, for one, came off with, the better trade-off with Diaz and Stones giving me combined of 22, whereas Cancelo lost his clean sheet as well. They even Diaz and Stones did, but they at least returned with goals. So I personally feel that Gundogan, Stones, and Diaz, I would still feel are the best trio from City, and I do own Ings. This was one of the reasons that I transferred out Antonio, who unfortunately gave an assist last game week for Kane and DCL. DCL, I feel now, I've been talking about Richarlison a lot, like we were talking offline as well. I still feel that, Richarlison is kind of an underdog in the Everton team and feels might give you unexpected returns. And this is now, I've been debating myself for some time about Jesus and Aguero as well. Like, will Aguero get an opportunity given Jesus has started hitting form and returning? Anand, as an FPL manager, my question to you is like, you've been following City assets for quite a few seasons now, and Aguero specifically. So, do you think that it is a tougher time for Aguero to return to the City camp in the City starting 11 and return points as an purely basis an FPL asset?
Um, it depends on his work rate totally because he has all the other attributes for a striker. But Guardiola likes um, his frontmen to press the defenders of the opposition teams. And if Aguero gets to that fitness, then definitely he's a great shout. He has a good record against United. Yes, it was in the past, but still good. And United's defense is a little bit shaky as well. Regarding and Southampton, they're struggling with defenders. So if Aguero is back in form by the time he plays United or probably when he plays against Southampton. So if you remember, Son scored 4 goals against Southampton this season. So yeah, Aguero can be a really good shout, but he's pretty risky. And a really valid point you made on that FPL lounge yesterday when we were speaking to Lama and Buna about it kind of depends on your rank as well. So if you are lying, outside of a million or 500k or something like that, then probably yeah, you can risk it with Aguero. He has all the pedigree. But yeah, in the last match, personally, if I just talk about my opinion, I wouldn't go there at the moment because in the last match he didn't press as much. and that is why Jesus was brought in. And Jesus, yeah, in the match when Aguero didn't start, in the first match of the double game week last, Aguero started, and then Jesus was brought in. So that's my thinking over there. I think he's still not at his peak when it comes to match fitness.
Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. Akshay, do you agree with Anand's point, or do you feel that punt on Aguero is worth?
I think I pretty much agree because if you've looked at Aguero and the recent performances, the cameo appearances that he has made, he's probably looked short of match fitness, and that's but natural because he's coming back from such a long injury and age is not by his side, sadly. But we know what he possesses: the skills, the running, the movement, the finishing. So he has all that. But once he gets back the match fitness, probably that's the time you would look at someone like an Aguero. And Jesus being in and out of the team is not a good option for me. So the only triple up I am looking at right now is probably a double defense or a double midfield if you have the funds for Kevin De Bruyne. But apart from that, it's probably like you said, Gundo and two defenders, or maybe just KDB and Gundo and one of the defenders, which would probably be Ruben Diaz, given how nailed he is. And coming to Aguero and him getting minutes, I probably feel he won't get the minutes because look at the league right now. Like City are cakewalking the league, and why does he even need to risk Aguero? Because maybe just get his fitness back slowly for the Champions League games, and he might be a crucial player for City in the Champions League.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But when I look at my team as an FPL manager, all the talk about City assets, I have a pain point in my defense. That is Mitchell. I really do want to get him out. I have a couple of point, I think, pennies in my bank. I'm not necessarily wanting to use a free transfer this upcoming game week. I think I have enough players to field, and I'm pretty happy with my team. I most likely will carry two free transfers into game week 29, and then I will make up my mind: is it worth wildcarding or free hitting at that time? Not wildcarding up for sure, but yeah, free hit, or do I go with a field 6 or 7 players, which, as we discussed, is enough in this game, be given that we do not really have great fixtures of big teams. Anand, lots of talk about City assets and our game weeks. How was yours, man?
Not a great one at all. Um, Basically, my captain blind, as you can see, and I got in Salah for Grealish. So it's a difficult thing to answer on this one because Grealish, I removed Grealish and got in Salah. So I was contemplating between Salah and Son. Uh, if I would have gone with Son, that would have been a little bit better. But Salah, looking forward, he plays Fulham in double game week 27. So it might work in the long run. So let's see. And Salah has been incredible for FPL and as a player as well. He possesses a lot of threat in front of the goal, and he's also topping a lot of charts. Uh, he's still the highest scorer in terms of FPL midfielder this season. He's already scored 17 goals. So yeah, Salah looks like a good choice. But yeah, I mean here I would take actually 5 points over a zero from Grealish because I also thought about keeping Grealish because I was hoping maybe he comes back because of uh, all the wrong information that Dean Smith passing in the press conferences. He's not giving a clear picture about Grealish. So I fell in the trap initially, and I was planning to keep Grealish, but suddenly I just thought of getting in Salah because Salah for 2 matches um, looked like a decent call. It didn't happen that way. Apart from that, I also got an Aina last game week, and I got an Aina for Justin. So even there was no point holding Justin. He would have given me just zero because he's facing a long-term injury. And Aina, you know, it was not a bad call because Fulham did keep one clean sheet in the first game week, and Aina was substituted at the halfway mark. Had he played just even 60, he would have given a clean sheet. But I'm happy with Aina because he plays the blind game week 29 too. So that in case I'm not using free hit, we don't know right now because there are still a couple of game weeks left. But yes, as of now, if given a choice, I would love to save my free hit and field 11 players for Game Week 29. So let's see how that goes. Coming to my team for Game Week 27, like you both, I'm planning to hold my transfer as well. Yeah, so coming to my team, I'm planning to hold my transfer as well, like you both. I'm planning to start Stones, Cancelo, and Alonso. Alonso plays Everton. And in case Alonso doesn't start, then I'll have Talis as my first defender on the bench, and Aina as second because Aina will be playing Liverpool. I'll be starting with four midfielders: Fernandes, Rashford, Foden, and Salah. I'm really tempted to start Rafinha because he's playing amazing, and there's no guarantee about Foden. Plus, Foden's playing United as well, and although he's a big game player, but I'm not sure if he's going to start. He didn't start a single match in the double game week. Just gave 1 point. Uh, but yeah, double game week still favors Foden a little bit more than Rafinha. So as of now, yeah, it stands at Salah, Foden, Fernandes, and Rashford. The strikers will be the same: Bamford, Watkins, Cavani. And was Cavani, he didn't play the first match in the last double game week, but I kept faith in him because I thought he'll come back. And he did play 75 minutes under really difficult conditions at Selhurst Park. It was foggy, windy, rainy, as we discussed earlier. So I've seen with United, they tend to bounce back after a dismal performance or two. Oli is a strong manager. We've seen, even even performing so bad, they're still on a streak. They haven't lost an away match for over a year now.
Yeah.
So he's not doing a lot of things wrong. And Cavani is their main striker. So we'll be waiting for the press conferences. And as of now, no transfers planned. But yes, there is a transfer that I might be bringing, but not this game week. I might be bringing this player in game week 28 and give him a couple of game weeks because Veltman is playing game week 29 as well. So it might be between Veltman and Lamptey. I'm considering both, but Lamptey's fitness is an issue right now. So more inclined towards Veltman at the moment. But yes, in game week 28, this might be my transfer. Yes, that's the plan, boys.
Akshay, do you think Weltman makes sense, or like Anand said that he is willing to avoid taking the free hit chip in game week 29? So do you think Lamptey is a better call, or Weltman is good enough, or any other defender that you would suggest, or is it even worth taking out a City defender if at all?
I mean, right now, if you look at players who are going to play in 29, probably Brighton look like the defense to look for. So, Veltman, I know why he's looking for Veltman because probably he's the only guy who's nailed as a fullback. And even if Lamptey comes back, I see Veltman slotting in at left back in place of Dan Burn because that's not his natural position. Although he's been playing there, I don't see him playing there for long. So, Veltman could probably be one of those who plays regularly, and whenever Brighton gets a clean sheet, he has the knack of getting bonus points as well. So I like the thinking there. And if you're looking only for a couple of game weeks, I think he's a good plan because you're not investing much there. And coming back to Foden and thoughts of even benching Foden, I probably wouldn't do that because they face Southampton in the next game, in the second game. So Southampton are currently in a very bad situation, and I have a feeling they might be brutally punished here. So against United, they went down to 10 really early into the game, and that ended up being a 9-0 thrashing. So City don't need you to go down to 9 men or 10 men. They might do a 9-0 on any other day, and Southampton being in the form they are, so I trying to be over smart. I got in McCarthy thinking that he might be playing a double this week, but only to realize that Fraser Foster is back out of nowhere, and he was actually my goalkeeper before my wild card. So that's just how FPL has been. You remove someone on your wild card, and the second keeper starts playing. So it's been a little harsh, but I know, like, personally, I wouldn't bench Rafinha, but that's the only option you have, probably, like benching either Bamford or Rafinha. So one of those, and yeah, that's a difficult call for him. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Like when you look at his team for the next game week, you see, I mean, there are really difficult trade-offs that Anand needs to make. There are a lot of difficult fixtures that his FPL assets are playing. But yeah, I mean, one week or the other that has to happen. But still, like we were discussing, the templates are becoming really, really close to one another. If you're 1 million and above, all that comes as a differential is the captain. Anand, very interesting to see that you haven't gone with a double game week player as captain. Instead, you trusting Salah when he plays Fulham.
Yes, probably because he's nailed, and I don't have Gundogan or KDB. I have Foden, Stones, and Cancelo. Although Cancelo, Stones, and Foden, they do have the potential to explode in this game week. Stones, especially, he has scored 2 goals, and both have come in the double game week. And Cancelo is a good player as well. Like we've discussed earlier, he's creating chances for fun at the moment. But I don't have the luxury of having KDB or Gundogan, and I don't see a point transferring out Foden at the moment because um, you know got him in because of his statistics and because of the way he has been playing this season whenever he gets a chance. And yes, at the moment it's the plan, but yes, let's see how the press conferences go, and if there is a slight hint if Guardiola gives if Foden might start or not. So let's see how it goes. But because Salah is so nailed and he's playing Fulham, and Fulham surprisingly are trying to attack. They had a torrid start, but kudos to them. They're playing really well, and because they're playing well, they like playing football, and that suits Liverpool in a way because Klopp has always been complaining about deep blocks. Probably he won't have that chance this game, and we all know what Mohamed Salah can do on his day. And yes, that's the process behind it because although Fulham playing really well, but when you compare Fulham defenders, if and if you see what Salah can do against them, um, it might not be a bad call. At the moment, I'm confident about this call, and let's see how it goes.
Interesting, good points, man. I mean, like you do you most likely like if you feel Salah, like good point of about Salah and Fulham how their forms vary. But Akshay, I think it is time. I think Gundogan to return some good returns again. Uh, I do feel pretty confident, and I would even could even suggest Anand to go captain on Foden as well because both City as a team in general and players, both of them are in great form. Gundogan, I think for me, hands down, this game week, I would, if I wanted to go berserk, I would have captain Danny Ings. But yeah, I feel even though with a hand on my heart saying that Gundogan might be a great captain, even though Bruno faces them. But yeah, double game week, and City do have the better odds against United. I feel like, given how the forms of both the teams are. What do you think?
Oh yeah, I think it will be a tactical game. So United City, if you look at the last few meetings, it's been tactical mostly, and both of them actually defending their records. So City defending their unbeaten streak, and we are also doing that away from home. So probably a nil-nil would be the best result for both the managers. But and you wouldn't be surprised if that happens because if you look at United's games and the results against the top six, most of them have been nil-nil and pretty tactical. Like not exactly a dull game, but mostly tactical because like both teams are very careful of making mistakes. So that's where probably I am a little wary of City like delivering again because we saw that in double game week 26 we expected them to deliver big, but even the highest point scorer, which is probably Mahrez, I think he was 17 points, so not exactly a huge score for a double game week. It should probably be more than 20 if you're looking for a captain. But Gundo being rested in the second game gives me hope that he possibly gets most of the minutes. And I like Salah being an option, but we wouldn't be talking about this earlier. But Liverpool are at home, and 5 losses at home on the trot. We were speaking about two, if you remember, some time back, and it's now gone five in the row. So probably have to be wary with that because Fulham are not the same leaky side anymore, and Liverpool are actually struggling. And him being taken off in the 62nd or third minute yesterday, and the way he reacted, that does not look good for Liverpool. So I personally see Jota coming back into the team, and also Salah would start probably. It should be a front four of him, Firmino, Mane, and Jota. But I personally don't think Salah remains the same player when Jota is back because he becomes more of a provider than a lethal finisher who is more selfish on his day. So probably I would probably go with a City player, but when you have someone like Foden who's not nailed, I can see why he's going with Salah because he has the bigger upside. And if Liverpool need a game to probably bounce back, Fulham could be the right one because they are on the up and they won't be the same defensive unit that they were earlier. So they'll look to attack and get at Liverpool because of how the recent results have been for Liverpool. So that might work in Liverpool's favor.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Really great points. But like, if I were to ask you, who is that one FPL asset that you worry that you do not own in this double game week? Anand, I'll start with you.
Westergaard.
Really, like even after the like discussions about the kind of forms the Southampton has been in, you still want to go for the defense?
Yeah, he's getting a lot of chances.
Yeah,
But
he's probably scared that Westergaard might get a -6 or -7 like Bednarek got. Yeah.
could be. Yeah, but
Though
Gundogan also is a
the
great
one player that I am particularly scared of is Antonio. So he faces Leeds, and we know what he can do on his day, like last season, Norwich. So Leeds give a lot of chances, and West Ham are not the same defensive unit, or you like to call them maybe sit at the back and counter. So they actually control a lot of the ball, and Jesse Lingard coming into that midfield is actually a great addition to the team because they needed a player who could actually drive the ball from midfield, and expected that from actually they actually expected that from Said Benrahma, but he took a lot of time to get into the Hammers midfield, and Jesse Lingard has actually taken the mantle from him, and looks like a great option. So we were actually speaking about Lingard being an option for a Barnes replacement yesterday, but there's always that game week 28 fixture against United, which he's going to miss because he's on loan. But apart from that, I think he's a great option. And yeah, West Ham look like a great team. So Antonio is the one who I am wary of this game. Yeah.
Yeah, I for one feel that having shipped out Antonio and Bamford last game week, I hope that the Leeds and West Ham game ends in a 0-0. If you have Leeds or West Ham defenders, kudos to you. It doesn't really
No
matter to
nil-nil,
me.
please. Cresswell is a bonus point hogger, and I don't want that clean sheet for him, please.
Who's your
Uh,
pick, Kshitij?
I personally have a feeling about two, Jesse Lingard, like Akshay said, and Richarlison. For some reason, I mean, it is just like last season when I thought that Danny Ings was out of form, but he kept scoring, kept scoring. But this time, I have a feeling that Richarlison has hit his form, and he might give returns next game week as well. So I hope or I wish that I had Richarlison instead of DCL, which I contemplated a lot. Spoke to a lot of my fellow friends and FPL managers as well about uh, shipping out DCL or getting in Richarlison rather for DCL. So for me personally, Richarlison, I think he's in a better form and gets into better positions in the past couple of game weeks that I've seen him. So yeah, Richarlison and Jesse Lingard for me, but yeah, definitely tricky games, tricky weeks coming up. Rather, we won't have a double game week after 27 for I think till 31 or 33. We have a double blank game week.
We might have one in 28 actually. So Everton versus Aston Villa might be moved into that game week, but we still don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, but like again, a lot of uncertainty, but we do know that there's a blank coming up in game week 29, and
Yep.
the next time that we get on here, we'll be talking about the strategies going into game week 29. I feel that I'm going to play a free hit, so I'm going to talk about that. Anand, we'll talk to Anand about how he's trying to avoid that, using that free hit as of game week 29. Boys, it's been amazing, it's been great talking to you again. for preview 27. Look forward to what our boys have to say about in the review for game week 26, wherein what those picks are, because Suryansh, Akshat, and Amit have been doing a great job, and their call shoutouts have been really performing. So yeah, look forward to that. And to all of our listeners and supporters, thank you so much for tuning in. All of our social media handles are in the description. Please do give us a follow. Hit that subscribe button and the like button. It really helps us as an upcoming channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this. As always, have a good one, and may the arrows be green.